So I have a bit of a dilemma. We know Apple is releasing a bunch of stuff this week, and they're breaking it up into individual days. Like as I was finishing up editing yesterday's episode, Apple released, as expected, a refresh of the 24-inch iMac. But I had given up waiting for them. Usually they release things at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. But once nothing came, I went with the show. So something is coming today, likely the new Mac Mini, but again, I don't know when, so we'll see if I wait for it. I'm going to go with what we know now, though. First up, the iMacs, quoting Mac Rumors. As expected, the M4 chip in the iMac is available with up to a 10-core CPU and up to a 10-core GPU. Apple says the iMac with the M4 chip is up to 1.7x faster for daily productivity tasks and up to 2.1x faster for demanding workflows like photo editing and gaming compared to the iMac with the M1 chip. In the iPad Pro, the M4 chip is up to 25% faster than the M3 chip, and this year-over-year improvement should be similar for the iMac. All variants of the M4 chip have a faster 16-core neural engine that boosts the performance of Apple Intelligence, but keep in mind that Apple Intelligence is also available on previous generation iMac models with the M1 and M3 chips. The new iMac comes with a minimum of 16 gigabytes of RAM compared to 8 gigabytes for the previous base model, which likely confirms a rumor that 16 gigabytes of RAM will be the new minimum for many or all new Macs going forward. The computer can be configured with up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it continues to be available with up to 2 terabytes of SSD storage. Apple has upgraded the iMac with a 12-megapixel front camera with center stage support that keeps you centered in the frame. There is also a desk view feature that shows your face and an overhead view of your desk at the same time. While the iMac has not received any major design changes, Apple has introduced new color options for the all-in-one desktop computer, including fresh shades of green, yellow, orange, pink, purple, and blue alongside the classic silver. In addition, the iMac can now be configured with a nano texture display, which has a special coating that better scatters light to further minimize glare on the screen. Apple had previously offered the 2020 model of the Intel-based 27-inch iMac with a nano texture display option, but this is the first time it has been offered for an Apple Silicon version of the computer. All 4 rear USB-C ports on higher-end iMac configurations with the 10-core M4 chip now support Thunderbolt 4 compared to 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports and 2 USB-C ports on the previous model. The base model iMac with the 8-core M4 chip has 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. When configured with the M4 chip with a 10-core CPU and 10-core GPU, the new iMac supports up to an 8K external display at 120 Hz or 2 6K displays at 60 Hz, end quote. Alongside this, Apple updated its Magic Keyboard, Magic Mouse, and Magic Trackpad with USB-C, keeping the same pricing but finally ditching the Lightning port. Is there any Apple stuff still with Lightning? Some of the lower-end, older models, I guess. Though I also want to note, the Magic Mouse, yes, the USB-C charging port is still on the underside of the mouse, so you can't charge it while using it. So continue the memes related to the dumbest design choice of all time. They really don't want you to ever use that thing as a wired mouse. Now, here's the dilemma. It just passed 10 a.m. and no new announcement, but we assume something is coming at 11 because a now-deleted chart on Amazon leaked the new Mac Mini. So that's what I assume is coming today. 3, 2, 1... And insert time warp sound effect here, because it's after 11 a.m. And here's the expected news, quoting 6 Colors. Just in time for Halloween, it's a fun-size Mac Mini. The redesigned M4 Mac Mini has a footprint of 5 inches by 5 inches, making it half the volume of the previous design and easily the smallest desktop Mac ever. Following the lead of its larger silver aluminum cousin, 2022's Mac Studio, the new Mac Mini features 2 conveniently front-facing USB-C ports, but no SD card slot. On the back, there are 3 Thunderbolt ports, as well as Ethernet and HDMI. The M4 Mac Mini starts at the same $599 price point as the previous model, despite the fact that the base model now ships with 16 gigabytes of RAM, twice the previous 8 gigabyte minimum. All M4 models come with 10 CPU and GPU cores. While the M4 Mac Mini will undoubtedly be quite a bit faster than its M2 predecessor, there are more substantial gains to be made on the higher end. Just as with previous Apple Silicon era models, the new Mac Mini will also be available in a higher-end chip configuration. The Mac Mini with the new M4 Pro chip, which starts at $1,399, supports the upgraded Thunderbolt 5 specification comes with 24 gigabytes of RAM, upgradable to 64 gigabytes, offers 14 CPU cores, 10 performance and 4 efficiency, and up to 20 GPU cores and 75% faster memory bandwidth than the M3 Pro. The base model has 12 CPU cores and 16 GPU cores. A $200 upgrade gets you the full 14 CPU cores and 20 GPU cores. The new Mac Mini models will arrive in stores and customers' hands beginning November 8th, end quote. The other announced yesterday was the first rollout of the Apple Intelligence stuff, though again, this is just the first set of features, and they're kind of meh. Quoting TechCrunch, Apple on Monday confirmed the general availability of iOS 18.1, iPadOS 18.1, and macOS Sequoia 15.1. The Point update is most notable for its inclusion of the first batch of Apple Intelligence features, which the company announced at WWDC back in June. However, only select Apple devices are equipped to run the new generative AI offering. This includes iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, all iPhone 16 models, iPads with an A17 Pro chip, including the new iPad mini, or M1 and later, or a Mac with an M1 or later. After downloading the update, Apple will ask you whether you'd like to opt into the feature. Once you do, you'll be added to a waitlist, a process that shouldn't last longer than a couple of hours. It's an unusual move for the company owing to the remote server requirement for the LLM-based offering. Essentially, Apple wants to get its back end ready for some big compute demands. Not every function requires off-board processing, however. One piece that makes the system unique versus offerings like ChatGPT is its small model approach. The new Apple Intelligence features are trained on a selective dataset aimed at specific functions, rather than the massive black box approach employed by others. The first batch of Apple Intelligence features includes integrated writing tools, image cleanup, article summaries, and a typing input for the redesigned Siri experience. iOS 18.2, iPadOS 18.2, and macOS Sequoia 15.2, which are currently available as developer betas, will bring another round of features. These updates will bring an additional list of Apple Intelligence updates, including Genmoji, Image Playground, Visual Intelligence, Image One, and ChatGPT integration. Apple has yet to announce a time frame for GA on those updates, end quote. One more bit of detail on the Apple Intelligence front. Apple announced plans to roll out Apple Intelligence to iOS and iPadOS in the EU in April of next year, 2025. But right now, EU-based macOS 15.1 users can access Apple Intelligence if you select US English.